Good morning, Fort McMurray, Wood Buffalo, and the rest of the world. You've tuned in to the Mac City Morning Show. My name is Elliot Pierre, your host as per usual, and we're going to start this episode off the same way we start every episode off, with a moment of gratitude. I know you could be doing a million other things with your time, so the fact that you're spending with us truly does mean the world to me, so thank you. On that note, Tanner, hit him with the intro.
How's she cutting me, loves? You're listening to the Mac City Morning Show.
Okay, and we're back. All right, I'm really excited about this episode because it's timely. We have an upcoming election, and this individual has reached out and wanted to talk about his platform, so I'm really excited to hear about him, what he's about, and what he's running for. As everybody at home knows, I do not introduce my guests because they can do that better themselves. So on that note, sir, can you please tell everybody who you are and what you're about?
Sure. Thank you again, Elliot. And
No problem.
my name is Shawn McDonald, and I'm the PPC candidate running the federal election. That's the People's Party of Canada.
Yeah.
And by no means I'm a politician. I'm a businessman of 25 years. And I never thought I'd be into politics, but I just feel driven to do that now with the way things are going in the country.
Right.
And how we're affected in this riding.
Yes.
I was born and raised in Kikino Métis settlement. So I walk both sides of the fence, as I say, for Indigenous, non-Indigenous people. Mm-hmm. So I can represent anybody,
Right.
minority or not. And yeah, with the recent happenings in our country, I feel deeply affected. Like, I'm president of ROBA, which is the Resource One Aboriginal Business Association.
Okay.
And we formed that back in 2009. And back then we had issues dealing with oil and gas in our backyard, in our sandbox, as I call it.
Yeah.
Not really letting us bid on work and stuff like that or attain work with the local Aboriginal businesses. Mm-hmm. So we formed ROBA just to kind of build a communication tool and a bridge, as you might say,
Right.
with oil and gas and Indigenous businesses. So it helped lots. So I'm one of the founding members of that. And about 7 years ago, I became president of ROBA.
Okay.
And back in 2019, of course, the recession hit, and we felt that. And oil and gas come up to me, some of our members of oil and gas come up to me in 2019, beginning of it, and said, Shawn, can you do a letter of support
Yeah.
of oil and gas and speaking against the bills C-69 and 48? Mm-hmm. And I said, oh, of course, most definitely I'll do that.
Yeah.
So I thought about it for like a week, and then I thought, well, is Trudeau really going to actually get this letter? Is it going to be thrown in the garbage if he even gets to him, right?
Yeah.
So I thought about it, and back then there was a lot of rallies going on in support of oil and gas.
Right.
Nobody Indigenous, no Indigenous groups. Mm-hmm. So I thought about it, and I said, well, I want to do that instead.
Yeah.
So I started looking around, and there was other ones that were way too extreme for my liking.
Right.
I won't mention a name or whatever to give them any glory.
Yeah.
But they didn't side with my morals and my views and ROBA's and our executive and our members. Mm-hmm. It was too hardcore. So I reached out to Rally for Resources, and we joined forces with them.
Yeah.
Lac-La-Biche County, Lac-La-Biche Chamber of Commerce, and we held the first Indigenous rally, a truck convoy and rally back on February 10th of 2019.
Okay.
And it made international news.
Yeah.
I was doing interviews right then, and so people knew who I was, who
Right.
ROBA was, and now they knew how much I supported not only the industry, but the people of this riding and the people of this province.
Right.
So it hit off very well. And then we're still in the slump with oil and gas. Mm-hmm. Our businesses were still hurting.
Yeah.
Then come the lockdowns,
Yeah.
COVID lockdowns. And that was detrimental to small businesses.
Yes.
Oil and gas are not Indigenous or not, it don't matter. It was just detrimental.
Right.
And I do believe in COVID. I know it's real. I know it's affected people. It kills people. I know that. But the forced vaccine, the mandates, and the masking, I think, is too extreme. That's taken away our rights of freedom of choice. Mm-hmm. It goes against our Charter of Rights and our Constitution. And to me, that's too much government control. It's too much Big Brother, and it's heading more towards socialism. So I thought, well, I want to take my fight higher than oil and gas, and then what I can achieve with ROBA. I also sit on a national board, the IRN, the Indigenous Resource Network. And it's much like ROBA, but it's more gained towards all Indigenous people throughout the nation.
Okay.
And just trying to help bridges as well and speak for them, be their voice.
Right.
And so I was in line to be one of the CPC candidates for this riding.
Okay.
But I'm sure you're aware, and many people that are listening, what happened, and it was taken away from us. We didn't get our right to choose our candidate. And I think there were 6 of us that were wanting to step up to take that position.
Right.
After Mr. David Yerdega took his leave of absence, right?
Right.
But to me, they slid in the one they have now. They just appointed her, and we were taken away with our democratic rights to choose that and vote on who we wanted to represent us. So that put a very bad taste in my mouth with the CPC. And that door closed for a reason. Not only that, but they're really starting to agree with lots of what the Liberal government's doing with the forced vaccine mandates and the masking and all that. And again, that goes against what I believe in, which is freedom for the people. It's too much government control. It's too much top down. So I did have a discussion with Maverick as well. I was just kind of not really shopping around, but I read their platform. I didn't really know much about Max or the PPC.
Right.
So I talked with Mr. Jay Hill, and it was a good conversation. I really liked their platform as well. But I didn't agree with it fully. It wasn't really fitting to me 100%. I didn't feel comfortable enough.
Right.
And they also have a candidate in the area as well. And I thank him for running as well. But I'm not a separatist.
Right.
I don't believe in separating Alberta. I'm not quite there yet. Of course, it crosses your mind and you want to throw your hands up in the air. Alberta's always fighting to be recognized. And to me, we support the other provinces with the equalization system. I personally call it a provincial welfare system. I don't mind helping people out that are in need, but you must support us in return when we ask for it, in that sense of building a national pipeline. So to me, that door was closed as well with the Maverick Party. So then I learned about Max and the PPC.
Right.
So I put in a call to their head office, told them who I was, never really give my background, just that I was available and I want to talk to, to somebody higher up. So they did call me back.
Right.
And he asked a couple of questions and that, and I said, yeah, I'm definitely interested. He said, well, is your decision yes? I said, no. I said, I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
I've been leading people for some time with the association and all that. I want to talk to the horse himself.
Okay.
I want to talk to Max, right?
Right.
Okay, well, we'll talk to him. And on my voicemail, it says, I live in the bush. No cell service. The richest province in the country, we got crap cell service, right?
Right.
So it says in my voicemail, if you can't get a hold of me, I'm out of service, please leave a message or shoot me a text if you want your call returned.
Right.
So lo and behold, I get the service and ding, I get this text. It's from Maxime Bernier himself.
Okay.
Hi, Shawn, this is Max, blah, blah, blah. I'd really love to talk to you.
Yeah.
I called him back. We talked for an hour. And I had, some minor issues with the platform here and there because nothing's going to be 100% a perfect fit.
That's exactly it.
Far from it, right? It was the best fit for me.
Right.
And I had a couple of questions on the Indigenous issues, their policy, their platform. And we're rectifying that. It's just different wording, right? And unless you're Indigenous, you don't really understand fully about the world of the Indigenous.
Right.
And so just a little wordplay, right, that make it better fitting, right? So they're working with me to do that, to achieve that.
Yeah.
But we talked for an hour and he won me over.
Yeah.
He won me over. He's such a down-to-earth man, very honest and truthful, and he'd tell you if he doesn't know the answer.
Right.
And he just tells it like it is, much like I am, right? Don't beat around the bush. So I said, Max, at the end of the conversation, I said, I'm in. On one condition, I said, I got to pass it by my boss, my wife, right?
There you go.
So I talked to her, and she already knew what I was up to.
Okay.
So she gave me her blessing and said, I believe in you, I trust you, and I know you're going to do it, right? So
Yeah.
I phoned them back and I said, I'm in. And
cool.
the rest is history as far as which party I ran with, right?
There we go.
And but all thanks as well. Like I speak of mentors, like I do mentor some people myself, being 50 years old in business, how long? But even I, at my age, have mentors.
Right.
And one of them was Mr. David Yerdega.
Yeah.
He was our current MP. I supported him in all the elections. We're very good friends. We're neighbors, for crying out loud. Like not neighbors like in the city a block away, but in the country we're neighbors, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's always been there for me. With Robin, that every call I made, he answered. If he didn't answer, he'd call me back right away. Every issue I had, he'd address it. He was very good for the writing.
Right.
But the way things happened and that, and to me, it wasn't good what happened with Mr. Yerdega. And but he has thrown the support behind me, not behind the CPC candidate. So to me, that is huge when a man of that stature supports me.
Yeah, as an individual.
Yes, as an individual.
That's right.
And my beliefs and my morals, and same with the PPC platform.
Right.
Because if he didn't believe in the platform, then he wouldn't stick his neck out to do so, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's pretty well where we're at right now.
Very
That's what brings me
cool.
here. Yes.
So, how have you found running and traveling and talking to all these individuals? What's your experience been since you decided to run for this platform?
At first, I thought it was kind of overwhelming, but it wasn't. Being in business for how long and president of ROBA, that it's not political because we're nonpartisan.
Right.
So because of that, I stepped away for my position and just to take a leave of absence while I do this.
Right.
Not to put ROBA in a bad light or whatever, right? But I've kind of been conditioned with my past to do this, even though I wasn't a politician.
Right.
but the ups and downs and of business and that with the slump and that, it kind of conditioned me.
Yeah.
So am I ready for it 100%? No, but I'm willing to learn. I'm willing to try.
Yeah.
And I tell people my business is failing because of lockdowns and everything. It's oil and gas.
Yeah.
So I am technically applying for a new job to work for the taxpayers.
All right. There you go.
That's how I swing it as a job resume, right?
Yeah.
If you like my resume, get me in there. If you don't like me, well, in 4 years, you fire me.
There you go.
It's pretty simple, right?
That's awesome. I like that outlook. So in regards to the company that you do own, like what kind of organization is this? What do you guys do? What are the services you provide?
It's oil and gas. We started off in the gas plant world,
Okay.
operations. So we had contracts running different plants with many operators in the area.
Okay.
So that's what got me started.
Okay.
I started by myself, and then we grew it. And then I started buying some trucks, some heavy trucks, gravel hauling, water hauling, and that. And then when the recession hit and the price of natural gas dropped, the plants and the wells started dropping like flies.
That's right.
No longer feasible to run them.
That's
They
right.
were shut in, mothballed, or whatever, and we lost all of our contracts. You know, in a matter of over a year.
Yeah.
So again, more layoffs for my employees and that.
Yeah.
So I leaned more on the trucking side,
Okay.
water hauling, gravel hauling, like I said,
Right.
rig moves, stuff like that, freezing down muskeg,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Whatever we can do to keep our doors open.
Right. Right.
But the slump set in harder, more layoffs, then COVID came, and then you got to start downsizing, right?
That's right.
Getting rid of the debt, getting rid of the new stuff, keep the old stuff kind of thing, and letting people go that really hurt me. Some of them were over, 10, 15 years employed by me.
Right.
So it's not an employee, it's a family.
Family member.
So
Yeah.
it's
No
letting your
doubt.
family member know you no longer have a job. I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do, right?
That's right.
That hurts big time, and that's what many Alberta companies are facing. Small businesses are facing that.
That's true.
And
Yep.
with the lockdowns, it's only getting worse. So I don't care what industry it is, we're all affected now. Everybody's affected.
Mm-hmm. Very true. All right. We're at the point of the show called the Mac City Minute. Tanner has a bunch of questions he's going to ask.
Okay.
I never know what he's going to ask. Neither do the guests. So I wish you nothing but the best of luck. Tanner, hit him with the Mac City Minute.
Alrighty. Question number 1. What is your favorite part of having such a large format and voice?
Freedom of speech. That's the big issue with me. With the bill they're trying to push through, we're threatened of losing that. So I believe we should all have our own voice, our own opinion, and government should have no control over that. So that's a very big issue with me. It's freedom of speech.
Question number 2. What is one story from meeting a supporter on your campaign that stands out for you?
I've heard so many, and to tell you the truth, many had brought me to tears. I try not to hide my emotions. I'm a leader. I'm a father of 2 older boys. They're teenagers, right? So you try to keep your strength up as a man, the leader of the family. But there's one story that sticks out big to me. It happened in Edmonton about 5-6 days ago. I was with Maxter on tour, and he invited his Indigenous candidates to attend with him. And there was 4 of us there. So we did our thing. It was great. And after we were shutting down, wrapping up, this lady comes walking up to me. She says, "Shawn, would you mind meeting my mom?" She says. I said, "Yeah, of course." So she nodded to her, and she comes from the crowd. And she said, "Shawn, can I hug you?" This little woman come up, little short woman, "Can I hug you?" I said, "Yeah, of course." I give her a big hug. And as soon as I wrapped my arms around her, she started crying. She told me she's a refugee. She was a refugee from Poland many years ago. And she's seen socialism starting to kick in her country, starting to lose all their rights, all their freedoms was being taken away. And she fought against it. And long story short, she ended up in jail for 3.5 years in Poland. So she started looking for a way out. And back then, to her, Canada was the freest country in the world, and that was her way out. That was her ticket place to go. And she did. She lived here for many, many years. And but now she says, "Shawn, I get that same sensation coming back, that same feeling about government takeover and losing her freedoms again." And she started crying again, telling the story. She says, what do I do? What can we do? We're losing our freedoms again, she says, and it's happening all over again. So that story really rang with me, and we actually put it on our social media and shared that story with her consent and have a picture with her.
Yeah.
So that's there's many like that. Believe me, many of people with their jobs being threatened because of forced vaccinations. Medical, nurses, doctors, like I've heard all these stories. People come talk to me, they phone me, they email, tell me all these stories. They're losing their freedoms and they're upset with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go.
Question number 3. What is one past Canadian politician that you would like to emulate?
Tanner with the question.
Oh, There's many, but one of my favorite is Mr. Ralph Klein. He said like it was. He knew that you had to deal with your debt and not increase it. Very direct, and he really did his province very, very good. Very, very good. You know, between him and Mr. Yadeg himself, they're both people that I really respect and really look up to and really try to emulate.
Question number 4. What is one thing that shocked you about our city on your last visit to Fort McMurray?
Nothing really shocked me, I guess, because people think I'm new here, but I'm not. I used to have many of my trucks and people working around here, including myself, up in camp. I have family here. Mm-hmm. My dad was a laborer for the local Union 92 labor. He helped build Suncro and Syncro back in the mid-70s.
Oh, okay.
Bechtel, right? So our roots are here. Many of the Aboriginal people started back then. What really shocked me, and I shouldn't say it shocked me, but when I brought Max here back on September 13th, we had a tour with Maxime Bernier, our lead of the party.
Yep.
We started off in Cold Lake at noon. We hit Lac La Biche at 3:30, ended up in McMurray here at 7 o'clock. And the venue we had was a great venue, and it was packed. It was packed. So the amount of support that we got throughout the riding was unbelievable. And McMurray just felt like I was home. I was home, so yes.
There we go.
And your final question, what is one thing you've seen in Fort McMurray that you haven't found anywhere else on your campaign trail?
I think it sticks out a little more, but is the diversity of the cultures, right? And all the minorities and that, and people just living together, working together. And we have that in our small towns, don't get me wrong, but there's more of it in McMurray. And it's very classy what I see. All the love and the respect, mutual respect between all the cultures and that. And people are just one big family. So I really love that about McMurray.
And those have been your 5 questions.
Thank you very much.
Speaking about family, you got 2 young boys.
Yes.
What are they getting up to? How do they feel about dad doing this? Your wife gave you the sign off, but what do the kids think?
They're stubborn and tough like their old man, right?
Okay.
And they're old school like me as well. They have those old values, and they used to sometimes get in trouble in school over those old values.
Right.
So I would get a call from their principal. Well, your boy did this. Okay, well, what caused that and whatever? Okay, well, the old man taught him that. It's
Right.
from me. So they're quiet, right? You know, I always tell them never ever throw the first punch, but you must defend yourself. Throw the last punch, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying violence is the key, but you can't just stand there and take it, right?
Right.
Whether it's arguing or whatever it is, but stand up for what you believe is right, and that was handed down from my father as well, and from his father as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they're pretty pumped about this.
They're
then
pretty
for
pumped
you.
about it. One just graduated.
Okay.
And yes, and he's actually working in an area close to here.
Okay.
And he told me just the other day, he come out of camp, and he said, Dad, he says, they're talking forced vaccinations and that. And he did get one.
Right.
Not the second, but that was his choice, up to him. He did it. And he said, Dad, if I don't comply, we got to start paying this $40 a day for the rapid testing out of our own pocket. So here's my boy, a young 18-year-old boy. His first major job, he worked for me, of course, in the shop and all that, but his first major job away from Dad.
Yeah.
And he's faced with this right off the bat. Well, losing his freedom, now it's costing him to work every day out of his pocket.
Right.
Right? It blows me away.
Yeah.
The young ones, like me, he's loose and fancy free, and he never got his vaccination.
Okay.
Again, his choice. My wife did. I'm being pretty open about it.
Yeah.
I myself chose not to. I had 2 vaccines in my life. Of course, the young ones one were, for all the young stuff, all the kid stuff.
Yeah.
But I had 2 flu shots in my life, and both times I ended up in the hospital with pneumonia in very rough shape. So when people ask me, Shawn, why aren't you threatening your family of leaving your family and dying if you don't get the vaccination? I said, that is exactly why I'm not getting it.
Right.
I don't want to end up in the hospital again and my chance of dying.
Yeah.
But again, that's my free choice, right? And same with masks. I myself am asthmatic. I have a sleep apnea machine. So I try to respect everybody where I go and wear the mask, but I can only wear it for so long. And then you just start feeling weak, and you know what I mean? Your blood oxygen drops, right? And that's not healthy. And to me, for young kids running around in schools and that's not healthy. They should be playing, enjoying, getting that oxygen in, and not breathing the same old air over and over, right? So, yeah.
There we go. Awesome. Well, my man, thank you very much for coming today. I really do appreciate it. Before the end of the show, before we cut you loose, though, everybody gets a shameless shout out or plug. So the camera's on you, the mic's on you. Let's hear what you're gonna talk about.
The plug, of course, is going to be about not only my values and the party's values, but to me, when I talk about this election, again, I never thought I'd be a politician. But the main reason why I'm doing this, because this election is not only about party against party, and in this riding, candidate against candidate, that's huge right now, but it comes down to our freedoms. We're literally fighting for freedoms. If we don't pull this off and we get these other bills that are passed and these mandates and that, it's a good step towards socialism, and I'm totally against that. I don't believe where somebody that's sitting on the couch playing video games all day should have equal pay as a guy that's working his butt off or the woman that's working their butt off to bring the bread home. It should not be equal. If you want to get off your butt and do it, you should get paid more. Yes.
There we go. Awesome. Well, once again, thank you very much. The couches, or is it not a couch, it's a seat. The seat is always open for you. So if you want to come back, please feel free to come back again and again.
I appreciate it, Elliot. I really think with your show and that, it's great. I'm not a big believer in mainstream media and that.
Yeah.
But I love media such as yourself.
There we go. Well, we are the furthest thing from mainstream media. I can assure you of that. And somebody's waving at you. What do you want them to say? Oh, your Facebook. We got to promote your Facebook. Where can people find you on Facebook?
Well, our website is Shawn McDonald PPC.
Yep.
.ca, and our Facebook is Shawn PPC. I forget, but it's on our our website links. But
okay, go check out the website. Go check you out on Facebook.
Yes.
Okay, Twitter, Facebook, all of it. I'm assuming you're all over social media.
All over social media. It's taken off, and we have a lot of followers, and I appreciate that. And shows such as yourself, it really increases that. So I thank you very much.
There you go. You're more than welcome, my man. All right, everybody at home, thank you very much. That's another episode of the Mac City Morning Show. I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch, and hopefully you're having a great day, and we'll see you soon. Peace.
Thank you.